The wolf did not move for several days, after which the man looked under her and called the police. This story takes place in George Might National Park in California, USA, known for its impressive waterfalls, rocky landscape, and diverse wildlife. The main character of this story is Charles, a 45-year-old forester who has dedicated his life to protecting nature and caring for animals in the park. He was a lonely man, but he loved his work and took pride in doing something useful for the world. One cold autumn day, while making his usual rounds in the forest, Charles heard a strange sound. It was a quiet, weak groan, as if someone was suffering. He followed the sound and soon discovered a she-wolf lying motionless on the ground, surprisingly alone. As Charles approached, the she-wolf growled, making it clear that she did not want him near. It seemed as if she was protecting something beneath her. Determined to understand the situation, Charles cautiously moved closer. He knew that although the she-wolf was a predator, she would not harm him unless she felt threatened. He approached in a calm and non-threatening manner, trying to convey that he meant no harm. Keeping a safe distance, he refrained from touching her, respecting her space. When he got close enough, he saw something astonishing. Underneath the she-wolf lay a human baby, nestled in her warm fur. Charles could hardly believe his eyes. How had this child ended up in the wilderness? How had the she-wolf found him? These questions remained unanswered, but one thing was certain. This baby was alive, thanks to the animal's protection. Realizing the urgency of the situation, Charles quickly took out his phone and called the police. While waiting for them to arrive, he remained by the she-wolf's side, speaking to her in soft, reassuring tones. Remarkably, the she-wolf seemed completely at ease with the baby. Treating him like one of her own cubs, she kept him warm and licked him gently whenever he cried. When the officers arrived, Charles hurried to meet them and explained what he had witnessed. At first, they suspected it was a prank, as the scene seemed almost unbelievable. However, upon approaching the she-wolf, they too saw the baby nestled beneath her. It appeared that the she-wolf had remained motionless for days, steadfastly guarding the abandoned infant. The police immediately called an ambulance and social services to take care of the child, while the she-wolf was taken to a local shelter for care. Thanks to Charles's intervention, the baby was saved. Motherly love is a powerful force that transcends species. The she-wolf's maternal instincts had driven her to protect and nurture the abandoned child as if he were her own. Her love and care gave the baby a second chance at life. Though she was not his biological mother, her actions proved that maternal love knows no boundaries. The mystery of how the child ended up in the forest remained unsolved, but it was likely the result of an irresponsible parent's actions. Now safe and in good health, the child awaited adoption by a loving family. Nature is full of wonders, and sometimes even wild animals display extraordinary behaviors. Mothers in the wild fiercely protect and nurture their offspring, just as humans do. In another remarkable case, a she-wolf was found grieving in her den after all of her newborn cubs had died suddenly, likely due to a deadly infection. Though heartbroken, she continued to produce milk as her maternal instincts remained strong. These stories remind us of the deep and instinctual love that exists in nature, proving that the bond between mother and child, whether human or animal, is one of the most powerful forces in the world. She refused to eat, despite all the wolf's efforts to bring her fresh meat. The leader was ready to die for his she-wolf, but was powerless before her grief. One evening, as he made his way through the thicket, the wolf suddenly caught an unfamiliar sound with his sensitive hearing. Moving cautiously toward the source, he discovered a tiny, abandoned cub lying helplessly in the middle of the forest. It was unclear who had left the puppy there, but it was evident he was on the verge of death. The wolf sat down in front of the shivering little creature. The poor thing trembled all over, his tiny body barely holding on. Then the wolf realized what he had to do. Carefully, he picked the puppy up in his teeth and disappeared into the depths of the forest. He didn't fully understand his actions or why he was doing this. Perhaps it was simply instinct. When he returned, the she-wolf didn't even lift her head. She was growing weaker by the day. But then the wolf gently placed the small, fluffy puppy in front of her. The cub didn't smell like a wolf, yet he was defenseless, scared, and hungry. Sensing milk, the puppy desperately crawled toward the she-wolf. Finding a nipple, he latched on and began to suckle noisily. The wolf watched in amazement as a spark returned to his mate's eyes. At that moment, she began to lick the puppy tenderly. Two lost souls had found each other. The puppy quickly became part of their family. Though he had been born a dog, he became the son of wolves. With new purpose, the she-wolf regained her strength. She ate, drank, and played with the puppy. When the time came, she gently took him in her mouth and together with her mate carried him to the shelter of the pack. Upon seeing the she-wolf with the puppy, the pack quickly realized he was not one of their kind. Some wolves bristled with disapproval, but before any objections could be made, the she-wolf placed the puppy on the ground. With a fierce look and bared teeth, she made her stance clear. The puppy would stay. For months, she fulfilled her role as a mother, giving him everything she could. She taught him to live like a wolf, to hunt like a wolf. In time, the pack accepted him. The puppy proved to be intelligent, learning quickly, even surpassing some of the young wolves in skill. Yet, despite everything, he remained faithful to his foster family and his wolf instincts. This is not surprising. After all, dogs and wolves share the same ancestry. Dogs are, in essence, domesticated wolves, shaped by humans over millions of years. A dog's behavior shifts based on its environment. Stray dogs, for example, tend to rely on human settlements for food, often living solitary lives since they do not need packs to hunt. However, when given the chance to live away from humans, they instinctively revert to their wild nature, proving just how closely related they are to wolves. That is why this dog was able to adapt and grow within a wolf pack. This story highlights many things: the kindness of wolves, their deep sense of community, and the remarkable adaptability of dogs. Whether in the wild or in the bustling streets of a city, dogs learn to survive and thrive in their surroundings. Dear viewers, did this display of maternal instinct touch your heart? Let us know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Goodbye.